Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's throw up the field for Saturday's Spa Baby race. We kick off the 20-cent Empire 6 with race number 7 at 1 1/16 on the turf, obviously for 2-year-olds. It's Whitney Saturday, Nicole. We've got Tom's Day Ta in the Whitney. We've got Midnight Bisou in the Personal Ensign, and perhaps we'll see a future star emerge from this race, race number 7.
Yeah, I think this race is really interesting. There's a lot of variety in here, some prominent breeding programs represented, a pricey yearling in here. You've got America's leading turf sire. You've got Europe's leading sire. You've got some hidden turf sires, including one of this year's freshmen. There's a lot of fun angles to play around with.
And our gracious sponsor, Spendthrift, represented by the number 1, Flight to Paradise by Spendthrift Stallion Temple City. And if you take a look at this pedigree, boy, you can't ask for much more from a turf standpoint. The second dam, a half-sister to 2-time Horse of the Year, the great turf horse, Wise Dan.
Yeah, and man, how good and how consistent was he on the turf. This one, a Live Oak homebred, one of those top breeding programs we mentioned at the top of the show by Temple City. I like them a little bit better with experience, but the Spendthrift Stallion is certainly a turf route sire. And on the angle of looking for route ability in this horse, Summer Bird is the broodmare sire. I thought he was such a loss when he died young, leaving only a few crops behind, because he genuinely just wanted to run all day. And I like him right there to inject a little bit of stamina into this pedigree as well.
The number 2, Explain, already has a race. That was a sprint on the main track. Didn't run very well that day, but gained fitness likely from that performance and should show speed, adding blinkers for a very hot barn. Mike Maker is the trainer. This is a son of Exaggerator who's gotten off to a really nice start.
Yeah, and he's gotten off to a good start with his juveniles. He was a multiple graded winning juvenile himself. I think stretching out will definitely help this one, who was pinched back a little bit at the start in that sprint debut. Can Exaggerator be a turf sire? He's by Curlin, whose son Palace Malice is already the sire of Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf winner Structor. Curlin himself ran very well in his lone start on the turf, and it's the Smart Strike sire line. I definitely see some versatility potential here for Exaggerator.
Another one that might show a little bit of speed is the number 3, Bustin Bieber. Now, this is a New York bred taking on Open Company. He is a son of Bustin Stones, 8% winners with first turfs runners. Bustin Stones kind of a sire that injects a lot of speed into the pedigree. This horse is going to have to improve, I think, if he's going to contend in this spot.
I think so. I do like him getting on turf after 2 dirt sprints. I'm not sure that he wants to stretch out this much. Bustin Stones by City Zip. I think he has the potential for that turf versatility being by City Zip, but he also injects a lot of speed, as you said.
Dam won 6 turf races, so a little bit of turf pedigree if you're still a believer. The number 4 is Lease, one of 2 in here trained by Bill Mott. Lease is by Lee, a 6% juvenile debut stallion, wins 11% with first-time turf runners. Classy family. You see the 4th dam, Tapiano, is a very good 2-year-old stakes winner back in the day. And the dam was not only a solid turf horse, she was precocious as well.
Yeah, a 2-year-old debut winner. You'll see on the info card here that this one shows a bullet workout on July 19th in preparation for debut. I'll encourage everybody again to check out the big Saturday Clocker report that'll be produced by our colleague Mike Welsh and his team, giving you insight not only into the stakes, but into some of these debut starters on the undercard. This one, a homebred for Adele Dilschneider, a longtime partner to Claiborne Farm, and by young Claiborne stallion Lee. He was a Grade 1 winner on the dirt and a graded stakes winner, a Grade 1 placed on the turf, a very versatile horse.
Mott also has the number 5, Sol del Sur, a $235,000 buyback as a yearling. This one by top stallion Medaglia d'Oro, and just a ton of stamina and class on the bottom of this pedigree. The dam was a multiple stakes winner going long on the dirt. The second dam was a Group 1 stakes place turf router. So Sol del Sur's got a lot going for him from a pedigree standpoint.
Definitely. Upper line was, just a really classy router. And I like this pedigree cross, Medaglia d'Oro over a Warfront mare. They can both of those stallions can sire a good juvenile. Both of those can sire a good turf router. I think it's a really interesting cross.
Shawdyshawdyshawdy, the number 6, is by the young Warfront stallion Summerfront, who I think is pretty solid with his turf performers. 12% winners with first turf runners. The dam was precocious, a stakes place dirt sprinter at 2, and a nice combination in the pedigree. We see the turf influences. The second dam, a stakes winning turf miler. This one trained by Jorge Abreu, a former Chad Brown assistant trainer, and Shawdyshawdyshawdy shows some solid workouts.
Yeah, and I really like the blend in this pedigree where you have kind of the turf route ability on top. You have the dam injecting a little bit of precocity in there as she was a stakes placed at 2 sprinting. Summerfront, you mentioned the son of Warfront. He's on fire at this meet. By my count, through Wednesday, he was leading all stallions by individual winners at this meet and already has a graded winner to boot.
Number 7 is King of Miami, and the high percentage Wesley Ward stable wanted to get King of Miami on the turf in the career debut. It was washed off on muddy going, well bet like many Ward horses. He ran a solid second after showing good early speed. This one is by Grand Slam winner American Pharaoh, whose progeny do so well on the turf, 18% winners with first turf runners. But you will notice a lot of speed on the bottom of this pedigree. The dam have to Bound for Nowhere, a pretty fast one.
Yeah, Bound for Nowhere, who's a mainstay in the Wesley Ward barn. And also in the family, you see 2-time Breeders' Cup Sprint winner Midnight Loot. That's kind of interesting to me, though, because Midnight Loot was actually a horse who was bred to go longer and then wound up as a sprinter. American Pharaoh, I think he injects some stamina on top of the page. Certainly a lot of turf ability with American Pharaoh, with Bound for Nowhere there. This one, they clearly wanted to get him on the turf early. He was clearly second best on his debut, and I think he might move forward off that experience.
No surprise that the 8 Modern Science was the betting favorite in his career debut. Even though his trainer Ian Wilkes is not known for first out success, he is a son of super international stallion Galileo, a $400,000 purchase. This is a half to Bashara, Group 2 stakes winning turf sprinter, just tons of class and really should go well off of that debut. Wilkes likes to crank him up, and I would expect Modern Science to be a strong contender.
Oh, certainly. Ian Wilkes horses tend to improve off a start. Ellis has a good 2-year-old program, and not only does this one have the experience there, he has the experience at a mile. You see, turf stakes horses Kiss Moon and Kiss Mine in the immediate family. Kiss the Devil, who produced them, was a graded winning turf router herself. Another of her daughters has produced a pair of stakes winners on the turf. Just class all over this family for the son of Galileo.
Bred by Coolmore, a $400,000 yearling purchase after selling for almost $200,000 as a weanling overseas. Berhanu is the number 9. This one goes 2 sprints to a route while trying turf for the first time. Berhanu is by the Factor solid with his turf runners, 13% winners with first turf performers. The dam was a stakes winner going a mile on the dirt. The dam is a foal to a very fast and precocious 2-year-old named Aegean. I think that Berhanu certainly has the pedigree to handle the turf, and I think we're going to see some speed stretching out.
I certainly think we'll see some speed after he was third in that pair of dirt sprints. By the Factor, another son of Warfront who's very good with his turf horses. This is another one that I like, moving from the dirt to the turf, but I also wonder how long he wants to go.
Can't ask more out of a pedigree than the number 10 Habitus by turf champion Kitten's Joy. Look at this family. The third dam, East of the Moon, was a multiple Group 1 stakes winner. Her dam, the Great Miesk, who won 2 Breeders' Cup miles. Habitus made his career debut going 5.5, considering this pedigree probably a little bit short. And it was nice to see him run on at the end of this race for Graham Motion. A tough outside post position going 2 turns, but this horse, like Modern Science, should really benefit from the debut.
I think so as well. And he earned a 60 buyer when coming from well back on the yielding turf in that debut. That's narrowly the top figure in this field for the experienced runners, edging the 59 earned by King of Miami. Kitten's Joy, the perennial leading turf sire in North America, and just that outstanding female family of Me-esque, an outstanding race mare who went on to be a top brood mare with East of the Moon and others. What else can you say about her? I like that the dam was stakes placed sprinting it too. I think that injects maybe a little bit of speed, that Habitus can use off that debut.
Let's take a look at our top picks. It is a wide open race to kick off the 20-cent Empire 6 on Whitney Saturday. You're going with Modern Science. Nice looking debut, fantastic pedigree, and these connections do much better second out than with first time starters.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking at how the race might set up, I thought there was a lot of speed in here. I thought Modern Science and Habitus, both of whom showed some late foot in their debuts, might have a bit of pace to run at. They're both from barns that improve with a bit of experience. I gave Modern Science the edge because I like that he has that experience going the mile already. Behind them, I think King of Miami ran well on debut with clear turf intent and should be able to get a piece of it stretching out. And looking for a bit of a price to add to the mix, I went with Explain, maybe by a bit of a hidden turf sire for a hot barn.
I could certainly use Explain. I see that, definitely. The number 6, Shawdyshawdyshawdy, is where I'm going to go. Now, our friends at home have an advantage in that they get to watch the board in these races, always very, very important. And I'm curious to see if Shawdyshawdyshawdy just takes a hint of early money at the very least. I like this pedigree. It's maybe not as sexy as some of the others in the race, but it's rock solid and it gets racehorses. And I think Shawdyshawdyshawdy will perform well first time out. Nicole's going with the 8, Modern Science. I'm going with the 6, Shawdyshawdyshawdy, in the Whitney Day edition of Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm.